All right, we are continuing with geometric vectors in Precalculus Chapter 8, Section 1. Right now we're going to be showing you how to do things using trigonometry, finding what's called the vertical component of a vector and the horizontal component of a vector. All we've done is copy down question number 1. We just kind of made this right here on problem number 8. We're saying that this vector on problem number 8 has a magnitude of what? What's our magnitude?
2 centimeters.
2 centimeters. What's our direction? 60 degrees. Now, we are going to use trigonometry, which is dealing with SOHCAHTOA. So in your journal right now, let's review it real quick. Label this one as sine. Label this one as cosine. Label this one as tangent. Make sure for the sine you put opposite over your hypotenuse. Cosine is the adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. You're either going to be using sine or cosine mainly when you're dealing with vertical and horizontal components, especially if they've given you your magnitude. Your magnitude right here is the hypotenuse. That's the hypotenuse. From the 60-degree angle, your vertical component, your y value, is going to be your opposite side, which means your horizontal component is going to be your adjacent side. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to make a little chart. We're going to write vertical. And we're going to write horizontal. We're going to set up how to solve for the vertical component and how to solve for the horizontal component every single time. So you can literally use the concepts that we're going to place right here and apply it to every single problem that helps you find the vertical or the horizontal component. Remember, the vertical component we're going to call our y variable, and the horizontal component we're going to call our x. Now let's look at the vertical. All right, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to find the vertical component. Now, the vertical component is which variable?
The y.
Exactly. So y is the opposite side. We don't have it. We need it. What do we have? We have the hypotenuse. So which trig ratio deals with the opposite side and the hypotenuse?
That would be
Sine. Very good. So here's what I want you to write down. I want you guys to write down the sine of 60 degrees equals my y value over the number 2. Place it over a 1, so you set up a proportion. Sine of 60 degrees.
So whatever sine of 60 is, multiplied by 2, that's y.
That's your y value.
Boom, mathematics.
Your horizontal component is your adjacent side over your hypotenuse. So you're not going to use sine, you're going to use cosine of 60 degrees over 1 equals x over 2. Now, when you cross multiply, you're going to get y equals 2 times the sine of 60 degrees. And here, when you cross multiply, you're going to get x equals 2 times the cosine of 60 degrees. Now, if you're doing this in the graphing calculator, you got to make sure you're in degree mode. All right? I need you guys to understand that for this one, your approximate value for y will be about a 1.73, which is exactly equal to radical 3. Now, your exact answer for x is going to be equal to the number 1. Radical 3 at 1.73, that represents the vertical component. 1.73 centimeters is your vertical component. 1 centimeter is your horizontal component. Yes, you could have used 30, 60, 90 right triangle to do this, but we're practicing using sine, cosine. All right? Understand, the reason why I did this is it's not always going to be 60 degrees. It could be 55 degrees or 43 degrees, and you can't use the 30, 60, 90 triangle.
But then you use this exactly the same thing. You put like 45 or 40.
Right, you can just substitute. Substitute right here whatever your degree is. Substitute right here whatever your magnitude is. What goes here? Your degree. I'm so glad that my life's not dependent on Social Security. What goes right here? The magnitude, whatever you're working on. All right? Now, Noah,
So,
right here, we're simply going to draw a 30, 60, 90 triangle to represent our problem. If this is 60 degrees, that's 90, this is 30, and what are the properties of a 30, 60, 90? That's a 1, that's a radical 3, that's a 2. That's how I knew if that was a 2, this was going to be radical 3 centimeters, and this was going to be 1 centimeter without using the calculator. Okay? So how about this? We're going to continue on. You have the vertical and the horizontal component.
you ready to table for the concept?
Sure, I'll go back real quick.
Just like, I just need to move on.
All right, everybody, I'm just going to quickly do number 9. It's not going to take that long. All I'm going to do is going to recreate, just making a sketch is all I'm doing. Okay? Right now, I'm going to make about a 140 degree angle. That's not perfectly 140 degrees, but it's about 140 degrees. By the way, for vector y, remember, what was our magnitude? Our magnitude is equal to what? 3 centimeters. What was the direction equal to?
140.
140 degrees, which means from here to right here, that was what? 140 degrees. But if I want to know the vertical and the horizontal component of this, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to draw a line from here going straight down. So right here, I need you guys to understand, this is 3 centimeters. That's your hypotenuse. If this is 140, how many degrees is this right here? That's going to be 40. This is your y value. That represents your vertical component. This is your x value. That represents your horizontal component. All right? This is your opposite side. This is your adjacent side. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm simply going to write vertical and horizontal. And I'm going to solve for them separately. Your vertical is once again going to be the sine of 40 degrees equals y over 3. This one's going to be the cosine of 40 degrees equals x over 3. What's the only thing that changed in this problem? The degree changed from 60 to 40, and the magnitude changed from a 2 to a 3. Well, what did I have to do? I didn't use the 140. I had to use the 40 degrees right here that helps me build my right triangle. Remember, this is your vertical. This is your horizontal. Okay? So what is your vertical going to equal? Y will equal whatever 3 times the sine of 40 degrees is, and cosine, your x value equals 3 times the cosine of 40 degrees. And make sure your calculator's in degree mode. Just round to the nearest tenth, and that will be acceptable. And your answer should be labeled in centimeters. And that will give you your magnitude for your vertical over here and your horizontal component.